pretty much. You could be a high school student and your best friend's not doing okay. There's a bit of anxiety or depression going on, and suddenly it changes the relationship and the dynamics, and you don't know how to respond to that person.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And teenagehood is such a difficult time as it is.
It certainly is.
And we have a lot of exterior pressures with families breaking up. Yep. You've got pressure to do well in the HSC and to choose your life ahead. These factors can really put stress on people dealing with mental health issues. So,
yes, they certainly can.
So do they call ARAFMI? What then does ARAFMI do for people?
All right, so the main thing that ARAFMI does is provide face-to-face counselling. They provide that absolutely free to anybody that wants to refer themselves, that needs help. They don't need to have a diagnosis of the person in your life with mental illness. Okay. So you can just pick up the phone and call ARAFMI, and you can most usually get yourself a counselling appointment within a couple of weeks.
Wow.
We employ clinical, professional counsellors.
Yes.
And also the other thing with our counsellors are our main counsellor has been with us for about 10 years. They also have personal experience in their lives.
It's often important, isn't it, to have that personal background that
so
we all know.
They personally have had people in their lives with mental illness, so they understand what it's like to be a carer, and they will try to give you some practical solutions, ideas, referrals. And then, we also have workshops and support groups. So we're very much about trying to educate, equip people to be able to help people with mental illness. And, the benefit for that then is that there is just much better outcomes then for people with mental illness in the community. The majority of support at the moment for people in the community with mental illness is being provided by the families and the carers.
Exactly, it's a huge enterprise, and I know with a lot of people dealing with mental illness, obviously they have problems with employment, continuing with study,
housing.
Parenting, housing.
Yes.
And then when they need help and support, those people around them, usually family, friends, partners, children, often, adult children, even younger children, are then having to give up school, study, work to care for those people that are going through some bad patches.
Yes, and it can be quite a drain and
real
quite a
financial drain.
To family,
exactly,
the supposed whatever normal family life is,
whatever that is. We don't know. So you're kind of building a village, aren't you? So that there are support structures when things are going bad, also when things are going good, to share that as well as, look, some strategies just work for us, or look, there is light at the end of the tunnel. This is not all doom and gloom.
No, and
it's so important. So you have support groups.
We do have support groups. So we run a regular support group at Hamilton in ARAFMI. That's actually for carers of someone in their life with borderline personality disorder, which is an area that we have expertise in, and that's certainly a area that's increasing the number of people in the community being identified with borderline personality disorder.
Because the problem with mental illness is that a lot of people with mental health problems are very, very reluctant to go to their doctor, very reluctant to go and get a diagnosis, go on medication and go through. I mean, this is part of an illness.
That's part of where ARAFMI Hunter can help, because you're right, you're spot on. As a parent, it's incredibly frustrating when you can see that there's something going on with your child or your loved one, and you want to get help for them, but they don't think there's anything wrong with them, or they don't want to go and get help. So getting them there to get that help, and that's
also
one of the things
they'll present well when they do get to the doctor, the psychologist, the psychiatrist.
And that's one of the things that ARAFMI can do, is try and give people strategies to help them. Help them get the help they need for their loved ones and the support they need.
Because it's a complex matter. And you know this firsthand too, don't you, Janette? How did you get into ARAFMI? What was your stepping stones?
The eldest of my 3 children, Peter, has schizophrenia. He was diagnosed with that at age 21, which is about 14 years ago now. And at that stage of my life, when Peter first presented with symptoms and not doing so well, I had absolutely no idea. It was just out of the blue. I had no experience whatsoever with mental illness, so it's just a complete shock. And it's someone.
And how long did it take, Janette, to get to diagnosis? I mean, when you from when you sort of thought things aren't right here to when he was 21 and diagnosed?
Well, it kind of took a little while for me to actually. I had to play tricks on him to get him to go to a GP.
Yeah.
Once I got him there, the diagnosis was pretty quick.
Pretty quick. That's good. Yeah.
And well, it was good, but it was also pretty scary for me.
Devastating. It would have been
definitely.
It does hit hard.
And where do you turn? That's the thing. I think for families and for when you get a diagnosis or you don't get a diagnosis, when you just know there's something going on, it's where do you turn?
And people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia, borderline personality, they are renowned for not taking their medication.
Oh yes.
I mean, that is part of the illness.
Well, I was going to say, it's the nature of the illness, the disordered mind and the inability to organise things.
Or when they're feeling great, they think, I don't need, I haven't got it anymore.
Yes.
And so then it's up to you as mum, as partner, as adult caregiver, as a child, or even a child then to say, no, you've got to get on your meds or keep on your meds.
That's right. And they can be very manipulative, and they can go along to medical professionals who think, oh no, they're okay, they're fine.
Play the game.
That's right. But it's the parents and the people in their lives that know them and understand them that they can tell. They can tell there's something just not quite right at the moment or things like that. So the families just play such an incredibly important part in that journey. And
so the first step is to pop along to your GP.
Definitely,
and chat.
Definitely, and if you can get them there.
If you can get them, even if you can't get them there, maybe pop along to your GP and ask, how can we? But then knocking on the door of ARAFMI to look for support.
I think so, because because I think it's important to try and reach out to other people families who've been in the same situation as you. My experience was within my own family that other family members didn't know anything about this either, didn't want to know about it because of the stigma, and surely this can't be happening to our child.
Or is it contagious? Is it going to happen to us? I mean, that's a problem too with your families.
They really didn't understand. It's very difficult to understand unless you've been through it. So you do feel very isolated, and I think, that's when to connect with other people who have been through the same thing is so important. It's kind of like, I actually run a support group. One of the support groups I run at the moment is a monthly group at Stockton.
Yes, I've seen that advertised.
I know that, some of the people that have been coming along there, I'm just blown away by how a person can walk through that door, not know me from a bar of soap, and they just let you start talking to you, and they open up to you.
Well, it's obviously a safe place.
Because they see that you've got that shared experience.
Yeah, that shared experience. So who funds this? I mean, you've got counsellors, you're running workshops, you've got support groups. I mean, there has to be some kind of funding. Who's funding ARAFMI?
Well, we're very fortunate that we get the continued support of New South Wales Health. But New South Wales Health funding is basic funding. It's, a lot of the small people are struggling at the moment. We get about $140,000 a year from New South Wales Health. We're very grateful for that money, but it doesn't go too far.
It doesn't go too far. Yes.
We currently employ a counsellor every day of the week. We have two lovely counsellors, Coralie and Darren. 1 day per week. We also have then an operations manager to assist, and in the past we had a full-time manager. We have a 4 day per week one now, and I've just recently had to be part of a decision to cut back to a 3 day per week person there. So we do struggle. It's we rely over the years. We've really relied on family and friends fundraising and getting in that extra sort of money to support our services, but it's just as other small, I'm sure, charities now, it's just becoming increasingly
It's becoming increasingly
important.
hard. But at the same time, your needs are being pushed, aren't
Yes,
they?
they are.
I mean,
They really
the
are.
funding isn't
Yes.
there, but at the same time, the needs and the demands on your organisation are really being pushed.
Our funding has stayed fairly consistent, but but the things are increasing. I've just, I'm blown away with the $300 every month we have a phone bill that we have to pay.
Goodness me.
Through the new, since we've gone to NBN, and and that's vital to us,
crazy.
because
Of course
we
it
have
is.
to have 2 phone lines. Our counsellors are often on the
Yes.
phone talking to people. And,
that's essential.
Yeah.
So if there are businesses out there who are thinking, look, or even personal donors who are thinking, look, ARAFMI are doing really great things. They're really supporting people in our community who are caring for people with mental health issues, so that our community works. We're building a village here.
Yes, we are.
Can they get in touch with ARAFMI and talk about how they can support you in sort of is it a sponsorship sort of arrangement?
Yes, look, we would welcome we would welcome people to phone us and have a chat to us if they would like to support us. General people can become a member of ARAFMI for $10 a year.
Fantastic.
We don't give you, and we're not able to give you anything much for that, but that gives us, it shows us how many people support and believe in what we're doing.
Exactly.
It helps us if we're going for grants and things to be able to say we've got this number of members. So every little bit helps. So
and I guess as well, you'd have some kind of newsletter where if you're a member, you get newsletter what's going on in the community, so we know.
You do.
So I mean, I know I get your regular updates all the time, where you've got your different workshops, where you've got your support groups happening, and that's really important, so I can then let other people know.
It is, and our
word of mouth.
Our Facebook page is a big way that we get information out there. We've got 2 Facebook pages. We've got the ARAFMI Hunter Facebook page, and we also have a mental health wellness walk
That's right, that's coming
Facebook
up in...
page.
Yes, when's that coming up?
That's in October every year, which is Mental Health Month.
Yes,
this
not
year
too hot, not too cold in October.
No, this year our walk will be on the 27th of October, on the Saturday.
Lovely.
And that's a big community event where we really tried to get everyone in the community coming together and showing their support for families and for people with mental illness. It's an opportunity too. We have lots of other service providers there to educate the community and things like So for ARAFMI too, we are very much about educating the wider community, because the community just plays such an important part in supporting people with mental illness. It's a really big factor, and if people don't understand, and in fact our vision is for a community that understands and responds to the impact of mental illness on families.
Exactly.
And we've still got a long way to go, I think.
I think we've got a long way to go, but I think ARAFMI is really there and at the forefront of helping out. I guess being a mental health professional myself and dealing with it personally as well in my family, I'm not going to say I'm angry, but I wish there was more funding that we could channel to organisations like yourself, because you do so much.
I see that too myself, and I think because we've got all these wonderful volunteers that are out there running Facebook pages. Our board are all volunteers.
Oh, yes,
People think we're this huge. Someone said to me one day, you have such a large imprint of your foot imprint of what the area you cover. But I think, well, if they could understand the struggle we go through in the background with limited funds to do that.
The work that you personally as volunteers are all doing as well, and the huge range of skills that you do have. And a lot of people think, look, I don't have anything, I don't know anything about mental illness or caring for people with mental illness. I can't help these people, but you can.
Oh, yes.
If you have, I tell you what, bookkeepers are as rare as hen's teeth, aren't they? People who can do stuff behind the scenes, people who are retired and, thinking, I've got some time up my sleeve, I've got some skills, I've got some interests. I might not know all about what this organisation is all about, but I can do some stuff in the background. So
yes, definitely.
they're people people to knock on the door as well.
That's right, yes.
Janette, you're doing such a wonderful thing.
And bigger donors, you know, as well as the $10 memberships.
Yeah, as well as the $10,
Yeah, you know, it's like all those little things that mount up, the phone bills and the different things that we just have to do.
Yes, it's just, it's life. It's the phone bills, the electricity bills. It's,
I mean, we're running a business on $140,000 a year or something.
It's crazy. And you're employing professional people as well.
We are.
And I saw the other day the fridge broke down.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
But we got a donation.
Yes,
that was
you
wonderful.
did. Yeah, how lovely. So people are, you know, very welcoming in the community and wanting to help out. Janette, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate your time, because I know you're busy and you've got a life other than ARAFMI, as you say. You've got kitties, big kitties.
I was going to say all adults now.
All adults now.
My youngest is 23.
Oh, fantastic! And you're also supporting, obviously, your son who has schizophrenia.
Support still in some ways, but I can say that, you know, there is some hope at the end of the day, because he is leading a good life now.
Yes.
He's married and lives independently at 35 years of age. So and there certainly is some.
And that's what people need to hear, especially if they are at the moment dealing with a diagnosis. They probably had a bit of a journey getting up to this, and a diagnosis sometimes is then just another fork in the road, isn't it? And then you've got to trial medications and
it's a long journey.
It is a long, and it keeps on going. But as you say, there are some really there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you to Janette. Thank you, ARAFMI. I appreciate your time, and if we can keep on board and hear what you're up to, and we'd love to get together in October for your mental health walk. 27th. It'll be nice and warm that day, I'm predicting.
Yes.
And if we can help you out in any way, and of course you are the one of the recipients of the sharing the $5,000 for 5 groups in the 50K for 50 weeks. My goodness, mouthful.
How's that going?
Well, it's going okay. Now my foot isn't broken. I still haven't got the high heels on now, but anyway, I'm surviving. It's going well. Thanks so much, Janette.
All right, thanks, Martine.